Hare Krishna. Welcome devotees to new chapter, chapter number 7. That is the first chapter of second section of Bhagavad Gita, which is related to Bhakti Yoga. As just now mentioned, Karma Yoga we discussed, and through all kind of yogas, Lord Krishna discussed about Karma Yoga, different type of yogas, Ashtanga Yoga, also for they were all just meant for self-realization. And the ultimate goal of Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga was to realize Krishna or do self-realization and through that have a perfect knowledge of devotional service of Lord Krishna and is commence devotional service to Krishna. That was the purpose of entire these six chapters we have already finished. As I mentioned, is the last verse 6.7. Krishna says that Mad Gatin Antar Atmana, have full faith in me, concentrate your mind on me, and do devotional service. Such a devotee or such a yogi is the highest yogi. This is what Lord Krishna concluded. In this chapter, we shall have from the side, there are six sections here. First section says about knowing Krishna in full by hearing about him. Emphasis is again not hearing, Shravanam. Then knowing Krishna is the source of both material and spiritual energy. Whatever we see or experience in this universe, whether it is material, it is divided into two groups. Either it is material or it is spiritual. And they are just a reflection or creation of Lord Krishna. And this is a combination or a combination of these two. The three modes are controlled by Krishna, therefore surrender. Then why people do not surrender, we'll also discuss, and also what type of people surrender to Krishna. This is going to be subject matter of this chapter. Now, the impious and pious people, and the section 5 deals with those people who have no knowledge. The people who do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they surrender to supreme to demigods and consider them as Sarve Sarva or all in all. They consider that Lord Krishna is just like a demigod, other demigods. So they got Alpa Buddhi or Alpa Jnanam. They have got lower level of knowledge. And mostly they are atheist or impersonalist. And lastly, how one can get released from all these things, a bewilderment of living entity and its freedom through knowledge of Krishna. So these are going to be part of our discussion today. So we start with so knowledge is very essential. This is very clear here. This synopsis is presented in this picture here. Chapter 6, Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, there are two types of yogi, Karma yogi and Ashtanga yogi, basically. Of course, Jnana yogi also, but yogi who always have faith in him, in devotion and concentrates with faith all his mind on him, he is the best of yogi. Now, after telling about Bhakti Yoga, Krishna starts with giving knowledge of Lord. Without knowledge, one cannot enter into devotional service. And why it is important that, as just now mentioned in the summary, that all material and spiritual energies or manifestations that we see are just but Krishna's creations, and Krishna is visible or can be seen through them only. So knowledge, what is the effect of this knowledge? Knowing, the first is the process of knowing Krishna, that is by hearing. That is, and hearing also from disciplic succession. Hearing also from very authorized or authentic source, bona fide source only. Here Lord Krishna himself is the source of being bona fide. So he himself is giving this knowledge to Arjuna. Then you can see that the knowing Krishna is the source of matter and spirit. As just mentioned, that all material and spiritual manifestations that is there in universe, that is just was creation of Krishna, and through that presence of Krishna can be known. And the Krishna controls the three modes of material nature. He is the creator, controller of three modes of material nature. But the creator is not under control of those his creations. Like a king creates rules and regulations and laws for his subjects, but the law enforcement is done by king, but he is not bound by those rules and regulations. So the impious never surrender. Now the best way of liberation is surrendering to Krishna. But some people do not surrender. Why they do not surrender? This is discussed here in next part. There are two types of people: pious people who follow rules, regulations, who believe in Krishna, who have faith in Vedic scriptures and lead a pious life in a mode of goodness. They follow Krishna, they surrender to Krishna. But others who are not duskritanas, they are impious people. They do not believe in Krishna, they do not surrender to Krishna. But instead, some people surrender to demigods and impersonalists or atheists particularly. So the outcome of this knowledge about Absolute or Lord Krishna is that we are lost, we are bewildered, we are under illusion or Maya, which has already been created by Krishna. So this bewilderment or illusion or Maya can go if we know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So verse number 7, 0.1 to 3 is knowing Krishna in full by hearing about it. Again, very important thing. We know of Prahlad Maharaj, that shloka, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Vismaranam, Pad Sevanam Archana Bandhanam, Dasyam Sakhyam and Atma Nivedana. Shravanam is the first. In Krishna consciousness also, Shravanam, Kirtanam and Pad Sevanam, these out of these three, first two are most important and giving lot of emphasis. So knowing Krishna in full, hearing by about him. So Krishna requests Arjuna to hear of both. Now Shrinu, he says. Now listen. This word has been used by Lord Krishna a number of times at number of places in Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is also giving emphasis on hearing and hearing again and again. Now listening or hearing. So Krishna requests Arjuna to hear of both his material and spiritual energies and declares that the transcendentalist who succeeds in truly knowing him is most rare. Samahatma Durlabha. So this is first verse of chapter number 7. Yes, anyone would like to? Yes, Mataji, recharge Mataji.
Shri Bhagavano Vach Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yujn Madashray Asanshayam Samagram Ma Yatha Gyasyasi Trishano. Now hear, O son of Partha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt.
Thank you, Mataji. So you can know me full. Why he's saying full? Because there are three elements, We know there's body, there is soul, and there is material nature or prakriti. So one has to, if one has to understand Krishna, he has to know the correct position of body, which is material, the right position of soul and super soul, which are eternal and which are spiritual and part and parcel of Lord Krishna, and also that this material nature is his creation. Whatever we see around us, all things, they are his creation. So this is the full knowledge that one attains, then only one can understand Krishna. Maya Sakt Manah Partham Yogam Yujan Madashraya Asansayam Samagram Mam Yatha Gyasyasi Trakshan. So person who knows this, he with mind fully fixed on Krishna and full consciousness towards Krishna, then only one can have full knowledge. Now this verse number 7.1 has been explained here through this diagram. Krishna explains how to know him by process of hearing. So hearing, we have mentioned, that is very, very important in all. We have to hear from our spiritual masters. We have to hear from bona fide spiritual master who has come from disciplic succession. We have to hear from pure devotees. And when hearing creates our interest, so hearing is the first stage of taking journey into spiritual realm. So Lord Krishna says that there are two things, the absolute truth and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, absolute truth is in the form of Brahma. We know there are three stages of God realization. What are those three stages? Anybody would recollect from the past chapters? three stages. God is realized in three stages.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Yes.
Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan.
And Bhagwan form. So these three features. So absolute truth, they are impersonalist. There's those persons who do not believe in the Lord has a form, or the Krishna has a form. He has a name, form, attributes, and he has got pastimes also. They believe in absolute truth, and they want to merge into the absolute truth. And the first level of realization, which is the lowest or imperfect level of realization, God realization, or may say partial realization, that is Brahman form of realization. Now it has been compared with sun, the sun rays, the sun disk, and the sun god. So it is just like sun rays, they are satisfied, and they want to merge into Brahman realization or Brahman effulgence only. And they believe that this sun rays are coming, effulgence is coming from the body of the Brahma. So their knowledge is limited. Then second stage of God realization is, it is also partial. It is sun disk realization. People look up and say, oh, this sun ray is coming from the sun disk. So their knowledge is limited up to Paramatma feature, and these are yogis only, mystic yogis specifically. And the last stage is, as Mataji just now mentioned, Bhagwan stage realization. That is complete. Bhagwan is with all six opulences. That Bhagwan feature is the complete realization of truth. And this is how different levels of seekers or spiritual seekers, they come to know about. Now, but the living entity, they are part and parcel of Lord, and the Lord is present in their heart as in the form of a spirit. That is individual spirit. But this is Anu, and Vibhu is Paramatma form, which is Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. And living entity, by different yogic process, the spirit soul can attain self-realization. And for self-realization, we have already studied that control of mind and senses were the first qualification. And one is not able to control mind and senses, then there is likelihood of degradation or fall down from the elevated post. And in the last chapter, we saw what is the destiny of a person or a yogi who falls down from his position. That birth in aristocratic family, birth in a family of a transcendentalist, or birth in the family of a Krishna consciousness person. So where that he can really start the journey where he left. So now, why spirit soul can be realized? How can we? First is Jnana Yoga. Second is Paramatma feature. That is, we have discussed the second stage. And last, these are partial realization. But Bhakti Yoga, when one realizes the Bhagwan feature, that is the perfect realization and complete realization. And in this Bhakti Yoga, the essential feature is concentrating focused mind on Krishna. Secondly, engaging all senses in the service of Krishna. And Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. Bhakti, in NOD it is mentioned. The Bhakti, definition of Bhakti is that when all senses of sense organs, six sense organs, are engaged in the service of master of the senses, who is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and now how these can be engaged, these six senses can be engaged by 9 processes. We have already just now discussed the 9 processes, begin with Shravanam and end with the Atma Nivedanam. So all these 6 senses have to be engaged in devotional service of Lord Krishna. And the process is given. Lord Krishna is going to describe process in this chapter. So by constantly hearing about Lord, it purifies heart. And when heart is purified, anarth nibrati is there. The 6 enemies of our mind, Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsar, which we discuss in chapter 6, one gets freedom from those things. And when heart is purified and those anartha is nibrati, then real bhakti develops, or real knowledge of Lord Krishna develops. So when knowledge develops, one becomes fixed in the devotional service of Lord Krishna. For a moment, he will never forget Krishna. He will always remember Krishna. Even say, if we have forgotten, to chant in this morning, then one person will not sleep unless he has chanted his fixed rounds of Mahamantra. So that is how one becomes fixed in devotional service. He will not eat unless he has offered prasadam to Lord Krishna. And then only he will eat as prasadam or food has been offered to. So he becomes freed from three modes of passion, three modes of material nature. And the three modes of material nature, Satguna, Rajoguna, and Tamasiguna, or mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. The soul is pure initially, in fact, when a child takes birth, but it gets bound or contaminated when it comes in contact with three modes of material nature. And then, what in person established in devotional service, he gets free from ignorance, passion, lust, and he is in a state of goodness. So impurities are wiped out and he is situated in pure goodness. Pure goodness, that means mode of passion and ignorance. And we shall remember the stages of Prema Bhav. How does Prema Bhakti develops? You remember the Shraddha. Shraddha, after Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, and initiation from a spiritual master. Then Bhajan Kriya. After Bhajan Kriya, it was Anarth Nivrati. And after Anarth Nivrati, it was Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, then Bhav Bhakti, and ultimately Prem Bhakti, which is the sublime state or the topmost stage. So when one is in a state of Bhava Bhakti or Prem Bhakti, one can understand Krishna perfectly and he has complete knowledge of Lord Krishna. So this is the advantage, benefit of hearing Lord Krishna's name. And now the process of the 9 process of devotional service, how one can take, and these are the examples here. The first is Shravanam. You can see that Shravanam, right? Shravanam Maharaj, this is the cycle begins from Shravanam. Parikshit Maharaj is the perfect example. Why Parikshit Maharaj is given an example of perfect example of hearing? Shravanam? Anyone? Yes, Mataji.
Because of him, we have Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Parikshit, anyone else would like to say, Prabha Mataji or Sheila Mataji? If there is one?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
7 days, day and night continuously, he heard Bhagavatam by Shukamuni. So that is the Shravanam. He did it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. In fact,
So because of that, we all are benefited and we also listen and read Bhagavatam.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank
In fact, we know that he was cursed to die within 7 days. And he was so disturbed what to do how to attain the best he could do during those 7 days. So he goes to Sukhdev Maharaj. He prays to him, how can you utilize that? Sukhdev Maharaj, out of his mercy, narrates him the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So hearing 7 days sitting in one posture without sleep, without food, not a restful drop of water in these 7 days, and that is how hearing. So hearing, perfect example of Maharaj Parikshit is given of hearing, because he was so much, in fact, intentful and also dedicated to hearing glories of Lord Krishna that he did not sleep, did not eat anything. So we also have to devote ourselves as much hearing we can do of glories, name, form, attributes, and the pastimes of Lord Krishna from authentic sources. So hearing is most important. Second comes second Kirtanam, Kirtanam of Vishnu, that Sukhdev Maharaj Goswami, again, because he's 7 days he narrated from Shivdas, so he was doing. Then Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Always remember Krishna. We know that who was remembering always Krishna? Prahlad Maharaj. Doing Narayan, Vishnu Smaranam. Then Padasevanam, Lakshmi Devi is of Lord Vishnu, massaging the feet. And then Archanam, we know that example of Prathu Maharaj is given because he was always praying to Lord Krishna and he was doing worship Lord Krishna every moment. So serving Lord's feet, Lakshmi Devi, lotus feet, then deity worship, Maharaja Prathu, and then Akrura Maharaj, he was doing always Vandanam. Then thereafter Dasyam, we know example of Lord Hanuman. He served Lord Ramchandra in at every step, and also succeeded in getting information about Sita Ma, and also in the battle of Sri Lanka. And Arjuna, the friendship, relationship of friend with Krishna, we know. So these are perfect methods by which a devotee can perform the devotional service. In our age, even if we are doing taking up even any one of these process of devotional service, we can perfect our existence, we can have self-realization, we can develop pure devotional service to Lord Krishna. And last was Maharaja Bali, complete surrender. We know Maharaja Bali, we have his glories of holy name, and the Shabdar, we have Vaman Avatar, we have heard about Bali Maharaj. And another example of Atma Nivedanam is, does anybody remember another example of Atma Nivedanam? Who engaged all his 6 sense organs in the service of Krishna all the time? He is a Maharaja.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Ambarish.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Ambarish
Thank you,
Maharaj.
Mataji. So this is how one can, so pure devotional service or devotional service of pure bhakti means Anni Avirashita Srunyam Gyan Karmadi Anavratam Anukulenyu Krishnanushīlinam Bhaktir Uttamam. The Uttam Bhakti, or the first class devotional service, is when a person is devoid of all kind of philosophical speculation, material activities, or gainful activities, or fruitive activities, material contamination, and performs devotional service to Krishna the way Krishna desires, and also what Krishna approves. So that is the best. Krishna Anushirinam Bhaktir Uttatam Sevnam. The way Krishna desires to be served, if a devotee does that kind of service, that is pure service. Yes, Richa Jain Mataji, you were continuing.
Yes, Prabhuji. Jnanam teham savigyanmidam vakshyamashya shasheta yagyatva ne bhuyonya gyagat tvamev shishyate. I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous, by knowing which there shall remain nothing further to be known.
So first he said in 7.1, here now. Second, now he says that I'm going to deliver you the knowledge. Now there are 2 types of knowledge, phenomenal and numinous. What does phenomenal means? Does anybody have any idea what does phenomenal means? Phenomenal means something which is exceptional, which is extraordinary. And nominal means which is religious or spiritual. So he is going to give some extraordinary ordinary and something highly spiritual knowledge to Arjuna. And this, so we know 2 terms. There is one is Gyan. Gyan is theoretical knowledge. And what is Vigyan? Yes, Mataji. Swayam Prabha Mataji. Gyan is theoretical knowledge, right? And
Vigyan is a Vishisht Gyan, Prabhuji.
Vishisht Gyan, yes, Mataji, that is very nice. But
Scientific.
realized knowledge, when knowledge
Scientific
is realized, the Gyan which is realized by a person and practiced in his life, then it becomes Vigyan. Is it okay? So it is a realized knowledge, and the other one is theoretical knowledge. So Krishna is going to give now this realized knowledge which Arjuna when receives. Yes,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you just repeat about this Vigyan and then Gyan?
Jnana refers to theoretical knowledge. We know something. And the science, mathematics, geography we read is just jnana. It is not realized knowledge. Realized knowledge
Materialist.
is Vijnana.
Realized knowledge is Vigyan.
Vijnana.
That is the divine knowledge,
Yeah,
right?
that is.
Divine.
When we know the essence of the knowledge, then it becomes Vijnana. And now Krishna is giving this great knowledge, which is exceptional, which is spiritual, after knowing which nothing shall remain to be known. That is the perfection of knowledge is there, what Krishna is going to deliver to Arjuna now in this bhakti yoga. So now this is a beautiful graphic description. Lord Krishna explains full knowledge, that is phenomenal and numinous. Numinous complete knowledge is transcendental knowledge. Phenomenal knowledge means acquired or perceived by senses. You know, geography, mathematics, science, we have learned by reading and by doing certain kind of experiments and observing them. So that is just phenomenal knowledge. Knowledge acquired, but here we are talking about transcendental knowledge. So these 6 organs are used in the service of devotional service of Lord. So they are phenomenal. They are exceptional when we use them for, not for material purpose, but for spiritual purposes. So seeing object as it is appearing to our senses, but they are disconnected from, in jnana, in matter, in the case of matter, it is disconnected from Krishna. It is not giving knowledge about Krishna, because matter is not giving knowledge about Krishna. Matter is just pointing about the presence of Krishna, that Krishna has created this matter. The second knowledge is numinous knowledge. Knowledge about spirit, about not acquiring through senses object as it is not necessarily perceived by senses. So the realized knowledge, as just now I mentioned, is spiritual knowledge. It is internal knowledge. It is not acquired by sense organs from outside. One feels the devotion. One feels in his heart the loving devotional service for Lord. He always thinks of Lord, which senses do not see. So, and this numinous knowledge is basically Krishna's energy. We'll come to it, that matter and spirit, whatever spiritual or whatever matter exists in around us, it is all Krishna's energy. And how Krishna's energy, different type of energy has manifested, we'll also learn about it. So nothing shall remain to be known after knowing about Krishna. You can see this is the perfection of highest perfection of knowledge. Now the basic knowledge is phenomenal and numinous knowledge is that Krishna is controller of both. In fact, controller of both Lord Krishna. Now we'll come to it, what he is talking about. Lord Krishna expressed Arjuna's qualification that he is okay. So he is controller of both, that is cause of all causes, source of all knowledge, and also only object of meditation for all yoga process. That means whatever yogic processes are performed, ultimate the focus or the meditation is on form of Lord Krishna. So so this realized knowledge or the Vigyan is knowing the sweetness of Krishna, the sweetness of name, form, and activities and pastimes and qualities of Krishna. So that is, but this Vigyan is very, very rare to achieve, because Krishna has got unlimited, inconceivable opulences of energies. But what we are seeing in the material world is just a very, 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 very small fraction of his energies. A very, very little part can't be measured even. So Krishna is so opulent that we cannot even think of his an unlimited auspicious energy. Now Krishna is going to explain in chapter 7 some part of these energies. In fact, he's going to just give a glimpse of his energies. Yes, Mataji? Please read this one.
Yes, मनुष्याणां सहेषणेषु कश्चिद्यतति सिद्धया यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मा वेति तत्त्वता. Out of many thousand among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
Thank you, Mataji. Manushya Nam Sahastreshu, out of thousands of people, thousands and thousands of people, Kashchit Yatati Siddhaye, hardly a few achieve the goal. But yatatam api siddhanam. But out of these persons who have achieved the perfection, kashchit mam veti tatuta. Tatuta means the real essence of mind is known to very, very few persons. Kashchit mam. The Kashchin mam means about about my opulences or about my glories. Very, very few persons. We can see that large number of people take part in a marathon race, but very, very few persons reach the target line or the finish line. And out of these, only 1 or 2, 3 persons are qualified to be declared as winners. So this is what Lord is saying. Out of many thousands, among men, one may endeavor for perfection. Many people are karma yogi, jnana yogi, bhakti yogi are doing a lot of endeavor for getting perfection or self-realization. But those who have achieved perfection, hardly no one knows. Even those after attaining, like I just give the example of the, impersonalist or Brahmavadi who wants to merge into he doesn't know. He is successful in getting perfection by merging into Brahman effulgence. But he doesn't know the truth. The truth is Bhagwan feature of Krishna. So this is a beautiful example. Now Krishna is warning Arjuna to be very, very attentive in listening to his opulences or the knowledge which he is luminous knowledge which he is going to give to Krishna. So that is why this is mentioned. So text 3 says that rarely man achieves perfection out of perfected souls. Rarely someone understands me. So different grades of men are there, Generally, people are interested in animal propensities, and all of us are doing these things: eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. These are 4 properties which animals also possess. This is what we are also doing. So, but very few people endeavor for gaining knowledge about the soul, the knowledge about the body, the super soul, and the absolute truth or the Bhagwan feature of. Because why we are not concerned with it? Because we are self-satisfied in our material entanglement and gratification of our senses. We are not concerned about attaining transcendental knowledge. And the transcendental knowledge, who am I? Why I have come here? What is my ultimate destination? Why I am suffering? These are eternal questions or queries which one should ask to himself. And by asking these questions, he should hear from authentic source this transcendental knowledge. And here Lord Krishna himself is giving. So chapter 1 to 6, we saw that understanding self, super soul, and process of realization. Chapter 1 to 6, Lord Krishna mentioned about the material body, that soul, super soul, the requirement of soul for self-realization and thereby liberation, and the process of revelation by different kind of yogas. Those were mentioned in chapter 1 to 6. Now, also it was given the difference between material body, the soul or the soul, super soul, and the material nature. Also, Jnana Yoga or Brahman realization was given, and Dhyana Yoga, which was the partial realization in the form of Paramatma feature, that was given. Now, but transcendental knowledge, real transcendental knowledge is understanding Krishna. How to understand Krishna? There are also many paths to understand. First is absolute truth. The truth is that Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is the effect of all causes. He is the medium of all causes. And ultimately, he is the essence of all causes. This is real understanding, that whatever is happening around us, whatever is existing around us, whatever is pervading in this entire universe, Krishna is the cause of it. And Krishna is the cause of it. He is the medium of it. He is the controller of it. He is the maintainer of it. And he is the essence of it. And essence, I will say, I'll give you an example of water. Krishna is the source of water. Krishna is the taste of the water. Krishna is the purpose of quenching our thirst of water, quenching our thirst through water. So this is the meaning that Krishna is the source. He is the essence. He is the medium. He is the ultimately the effect of all what exists around us. So Krishna can only be known by process of Krishna consciousness. That is, engagement is devotional service of Lord Krishna. Krishna cannot be understood, by yogic practice, by philosophical speculation, by scientific knowledge, or by any other kind of knowledge. And worse to talk about atheists who do not believe in Krishna at all. So, but process of bhakti is not easy. As proclaimed by, is not easy to practice as proclaimed by impersonalist. So we just saw the 9 process of bhakti and what kind of other requirements exist for doing transcendental service or loving devotional service to Krishna. So process of devotional service as per is described in the Vedic literatures or Vedic. We just now heard the shloka by Prahlad Maharaj, that Shabnam Kirtanam Vishnu Ismaranam Parsevnam Dasyam Sakhyam, and ultimately Archanam Bandhanam and Atmanivedana. So Vedic literatures, Upanishads, Purans, and Narad Pancharatra. In ISKCON, the method of worship is a devotional service, and it is mainly focused on system of Shravanam and Kirtanam, or deity worship only. But in Narad Pancharatra, this is a written authentic literature written by Narad Muni, that all 9 processes of bhakti are devotional service are required. That is mentioned in Narad Pancharatra. So simply if one relies on these Vedic literatures, then there is simple disturbance to society, because attaining knowledge or jnana through Upanishad, reading Puranas and Narad Pancharatra and bringing them into practice is a very, very tough process, very, very difficult process in our age. The simplest path is direct devotional service to Krishna. So one gets the desired result. Then now we come to second section. Second section is about knowing Krishna as the source of both the material and spiritual energy. This is described in verse 7.4 to 7.12. Yes, but anybody else would like to read now?
Shall I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, please. Thank you.
Bhumirapo nalo vayu kammano buddhirev cha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakrutirashtadha.
Yes,
Hare Krishna. Yes. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. 7.5 also, shall I read?
yes, Mataji, please continue.
Okay. Apareyamitastvanyam prakrutim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagate. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Hare Krishna, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mataji. So these are 5 Mahabhut, or 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind. Earth, water, air, fire, and ether. These are 5 gross elements. And mind, intelligence, and false ego, these are 3 subtle elements. So Lord says that all together these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Now Lord has got, Lord has got here, it is mentioned 2 energies, but Lord has got 3 energies basically. And superior energy, tatastha energy or marginal energy, and there is inferior energy. Now these are, inferior energies are material energies. Superior energies are spiritual energies, and the cause of creation of heavenly planets and demigods. That is the creation from superior energy of Lord. And tatastha energy is the marginal energy, which is in between the superior energy and the inferior energy. We also call it as external energy and internal energy. So Tatastha energy means that Tatastha means something which is in between, which is partly spiritual, that is partly superior and partly also inferior. Because when the superior energy comes in contact with the material energy or inferior energy, it becomes contaminated. So it has got qualities of both, attributes of both. The energy of superior energy, the attributes of superior energy as well as inferior energy. That is why it is called marginal energy. Now, marginal energy we know is situated in between superior and inferior energy. So, but out of inferior energy, Lord has created this entire material universe, has created all kind of planets and all these living entities and all these things. So living entities are grouped in the Tatastha energy or marginal energy form. But this energy, instead of having its connection with superior energy, it wants to enjoy the inferior energy, that is material nature. And when it has an intention to enjoy the material nature, it becomes bound by three modes of material nature. So then it forgets the relationship with superior energy, that is Lord Krishna or the super soul. That relationship is forgotten. So what is false ego? Here the word is used as out of subtle energy, subtle elements, mind, intelligence, and false ego. False ego, does anybody, would anybody like to define what is false ego? All of us have this false ego. Yes?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. False ego is that I am the doer
And
and
yes,
I'm identifying with the body.
yes, Mataji, thank you. That is perfect answer. So I and mine, this concept, whereas nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Krishna, and I'm not the doer. There were three doers. What were those? We studied in chapter 6, three doers.
Jiva,
Ahankara,
Prakriti, Ishwar.
yes, Jiva, material nature, and the super soul. Super soul sanctions, na, Mataji? So there are three doers basically, but ahankar vimuratma karta ham iti manyate. The living entity out of his self ego considers that I am the doer. I am not the doer. It is I am just having a wish or desire, and the supreme personality of Godhead or super in the form of Supravatma permits that desire to be fulfilled, and as soon as permission is given, the material nature of Prakriti gives it a shape or a form, and the action is performed. So these are gross elements, five gross elements: earth, water, fire, and their causes are smell, taste, form, touch, and the sound. These are the effects of these five gross elements. And false, these subtle elements we have mentioned about. So in the 7.5, Lord says that superior energy of mind. Lord says that you are part of my superior energy. That is, I am present in you as a soul and super soul. So you are part of my superior energy. But living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material world, they forget that they are part of parcel of Lord. They want to enjoy themselves, satisfy their senses, and gratify their senses by utilizing the sense objects or the material nature. They want to exert lordship over the material nature, which does not belong to them. Basically, everything belongs to Lord Krishna. But they consider this is my house, this is my money, these are my family, this is my children, this is my car, this is my property, this is my position, I am this. This is false ego. So we have to get rid of this concept. That Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that you are basically not the doer. It is, or you are not the controller. I am controller and maintainer and creator of everything. Yes, Mataji. Swam Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhuji. 7.6.
7.6.
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा. All created beings have their source in these two natures, of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. Hare Krishna, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Matari. So yes, he's mentioning whatever has been created in this universe, whatever is around us or in anywhere, it has got only two elements. Either it is material or it is spiritual. And Krishna is asserting again here that I am the source of origin because I have created all the spiritual matter. I have created all the matter related to material nature and something which is not spiritual. So spiritual or non-spiritual, everything has been created, and I am the dissolution, cause of dissolution. That is, I am the annihilator of all, creator, maintainer, and ultimately annihilator. So Lord Krishna is mentioning. So we'll take up this graphic description, which is beautiful. The 8 elements. Krishna is a plenary expansion. He is a complete. Plenary means that it is absolute. It is perfect. It is part of the whole, but it is a whole by itself also. So plenary expansions complete, and then material creations or prakriti. So Lord has created through superior energy, the spiritual aspects as well as material aspect, which is we know as Krishna. So plenary first now Krishna's incarnations. We know there are 6 incarnations of Krishna. Purusha avatar, there are 6 avatars, 6 types of avatar rather. Purusha avatar, Yuga avatar, Leela avatar, Shakti avatar, Yuga avatar, and Manavantar avatar. So these are, first is Purusha avatar, this Purusha incarnation. And from Krishna came when he plenary expanded himself into, into another absolute, then Mahavishnu or the Karnado Kai, the Kshayi Vishnu came into existence. And then from Karnakdakshayi Vishnu, there was Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, and then Shirokdakshayi Vishnu. Now, the Mahavishnu created Mahatattva, and Mahatattva created material energy. And Garbhodakshayi Vishnu entered into those universes as the Atma or soul in each one. He enters into every universe to create diversities, and in each diversity or each living form, the Garbhodakshayi Vishnu entered as soul, and Shirokdakshayi Vishnu enters into each atom to maintain as super soul. So these are 3 expansions of Lord Krishna which are absolute and perfect, and those who do not know Krishna think that material world is for enjoyment of living entities, and living entities are the Purush, cause, controller, enjoyer, and material energy. So this is out of ignorance. People who know how these Vishnus came into existence, how Krishna expanded into 3 Vishnus, and how this universe was created, how the soul and super soul was impregnated into each and every universe and living entity. Those who do not know, they consider that this material world is for enjoyment, for their own entertainment. They consider themselves the enjoyer. They forget that Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. He is the creator, he is the maintainer, he is the annihilator. So they want to enjoy this material energy and the material nature, and also lord over it. They want to possess it, exercise. So material energy, this is permanent. Now this material energy creation is temporary. All activities are directed by 3 Vishnus, and ingredients of in material world are separated energy of Lord. So whether it is plenary expansion or whether it is prakriti or material creation, all is controlled by Vishnu, different forms of Vishnu, and they are separated energy because they have come out from the Lord Krishna's immense opulences or energies only. So these are, and the separated energy of Lord, which is material nature, that gives rise to 5 gross elements. We know earth, water, fire, and air, and ether, and ultimately these are 5 gross. The subtle elements also are in fact material in nature. This is mentioned here. The mind, intelligence, and false ego, they are also subtle elements, and they have also they are also part of Mahat Tattva, which has come from Karnak Dokshai Vishnu, who has created material energy of Mahatattva. So these gross elements plus these five subtle elements, they are creation of Mahatattva. They are part of the Karnak Dokshai Vishnu only. So one has to understand, and this is perfection of knowledge. We will have to stop here because the other batch has joined. So we'll continue tomorrow again from this level. Any quick question you can put up, Mataji or Prabhuji?
Yeah. Hare
Yes,
Krishna Prabhuji.
yes, Mataji.
You said 6 avatars of Krishna, right? So before you were expanding about Karanodaka, Garbhodaka, you said few 6 of them, like one I wrote, Purushavatar, then what are?
Yeah, these I'll just enumerate and give you example of
Hare
two
Krishna?
avatars, then it will be very easy. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yeah.
Yes, so
Yeah, yes.
first was Purush Avatar. Purush Avatar, the
Yeah.
three, this is 3 avatar, that is this 3 avatars in the form of Vishnu, and from Garbhodakshai Vishnu came, that is stem of lotus, and from that flower came Brahma. This is how Brahma was created. So Brahma, Vishnu, these are Purush avatars. And second avatar example I'll give you, Yuga avatar. This Kalyuga, Satyuga, Treta, Dwapar, and Kalyuga, they are Yuga avatars of Lord Krishna. They are expansions. Krishna has expanded himself into this form. And there are Leela avatar, there are Shakti Avashesh avatar, there are Purush, Leela, Yuga, Manvantar avatar. So these are 6 incarnations which Krishna has expanded into, and this is how all kind of creation of material or spiritual has come into existence. We may discuss it in a little more detail in tomorrow's session, Mataji, because of that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji.
But
Thank you.
basically, we normally had been talking about that all Krishna is only Bhagwan, others are demigods. So all these demigods are creation from Krishna. They are expansions of Krishna. Prithu Maharaj, all those yogas, Leela Avatar, Purush Avatar, Yuga Avatar, Manvantara, Shakti Avatar, all these are Shakti Avatar. They are all incarnation or expansions of Krishna. They are not separate entity. Krishna is the source of it. That is why we call him a primeval Lord. We call him Adi Purush because nothing existed before Krishna. So that is why Krishna is the source of everything. Hare Krishna, the attendance link is posted in the chat box. Please fill in the attendance. Any other question we can take up tomorrow?
Those 6 words, what you said, I wanted it. Tomorrow I'll write down.
Yeah, sure, Mata.
Actually, it is in the Bhagavatam first canto, 3rd chapter, right? I'm reading that.
Yes.
All this comes, but difficult to understand. So those 6 words, I'll find out from you tomorrow again and then write down, Prabhuji.
Sure, Mata.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Dhanyavad.
Sure, thank you. So Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji, for your association and participation in today's session. Let us close today's session with prayers to Vaishnavas. Vanchakalpatarubhishya कृपा सिंधुभैव जय पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, and Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Dhanavad
Krishna.
Pranam.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.